Hi, welcome to String Theory with Anthony Douglas. I am your host, Anthony Douglas. At any rate, we did get a ride out of the middle of nowhere, and now we're at a bowling alley. Here, I'll show you. It's the Lucky Strike bowling alley. It's pretty cool. I've never bowled here. Oh, wow. At any rate, yeah, let's talk a bit about some of the things that we were discussing in the last video, which was age discrimination. Now, this is a difficult topic. I'm going to be honest with you, because, you know, and I know I've said this in the past quite a bit, but everything is different. Every situation is different. You know, there's just no two situations the same. You know, I try to take a stab at these things, but, you know, from different things I've either watched people go through, or, you know, things that I've seen happen on stage or whatever. But at any rate, we're talking about this, and yeah, I have sat and watched the elderly really get brutalized in this business. And up in Washington, you know, when I lived up there, I mean, I used to sit with helpless hands watching people that were really good at their craft, you know, just either get disappointed with it or have to hang it up. And this just became a real thing that I just hated watching people go through, especially if they're at the top of their career. They're doing really super well, they're really cutting it, but, you know, for whatever reason, they don't want to hire this person because they're older. And I'm speaking to you people that are older now. The last video was a panoramic view of everything, and now I think I'm going to dive into the youth, the younger ones, and I'm going to dive into my age group, middle age, and then I'm going to dive into the elderly on what's really happening out here. But let's go with the elderly for a while, because I think they get beat up the worst. But at any rate, if you are an elderly person and you are doing this for a living, I mean, really, you know, you're in a pretty good position, really, if you think about it, because you've done this thing for decades. This is nothing new. You've managed to reinvent yourself up to this point, but now you're at a point where things are a little too crazy. You know, you're not wanting to put in the effort. You know, you might tell me, well, you know what, you're putting in the effort, but no, put in the effort. Please put in the effort. Go home like you did when you were a teenager, and start learning your stuff. Even if you can't do it, even if you're learning, maybe your playing is way up there, but your learning is kind of in the basement now. You know, the old saying, you can't teach a dog new tricks. Well, try to deal with it. Put on some new music, you know, listen to the top 40 songs, even if you hate them, and start really drilling yourself on what's going on out here today. You know, if you have younger friends, hang out with them. You know, but try to keep young in spirit, you know. No matter what you're doing, I don't care if you're doing music from the 20s, still keep young in spirit. Just, you know, don't stagnate or let yourself go, you know, or say, you know, I rehearsed my instrument, I've put in all this time, I've helped bands load in and out, I've been there when people haven't been there for me, and now I'm just tired. I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of the loadouts. I'm sick of, you know, listening to the singers get up on stage and sing out of tune. I'm tired of the attitudes. I'm tired. And, you know, honestly, I was probably there when I was 18. You know, and you remember me talking about the year of 1990. I mean, my least favorite year in the music industry. I mean, it was just horrible for me and the people that I was around, the people that I was working with. That was just a real bad year. But you know, now is a lot better. There's a lot more opportunities and things out there now, I think. But in this reinventing yourself stage, and I am speaking to you, the elderly, the people that are really good at what you do, and you're just maybe wanting to hang it up. Maybe you're not wanting to push yourself as much anymore. Okay, when I was 18, I wanted to quit. I mean, I really did. I really did want to quit and, you know, hang it all up. And I was tired of playing the Orange Blossom Special on the fiddle. I was tired of Amarillo by Morning. Okay, but I'm still playing it, okay? I was sick of it when I was 18. I thought, okay, this is a suck-ass song, and you get everybody out of the dance floor. But I learned to try to live vicariously through people. Okay, this is how I perceive it, but how do they perceive it? You know, maybe the couple that's out on the dance floor that's dancing to Amarillo by Morning, maybe that was a song that they were dating. You know, they were young and they were dating and having fun, and this was a real good time, and they were going to the country bars where there was dancing and line dancing, and, you know, everything was great. Everything was what it should be. And now, you know, you play that song and it just brings them right back. You know, they're all happy. So don't look at this stuff as drudgery. You know, make little jokes. You know, I don't even call it Amarillo by Morning anymore. I call it, you know, cute little rodents in the headlights. You know, or, you know, I'll make up little lyrics like taking drugs until morning out of San Antone. You know, every drugstore I've come across is just nothing going on. You know, I mean, have fun with it. You know, just be lighthearted and live vicariously through these people. And, you know, you don't like a song, let's just say you're sick of a song, you've always hated this song, but man, you're really good at playing it. I mean, it's don't stop playing it. If people are begging for it, they're just sitting there going, oh my gosh, you were amazing on it. live vicariously through them. Say, okay, I've got a knack for this song. There's no harm in complimenting yourself, loving yourself. There's a big difference between loving yourself and enjoying who you are and being, completely arrogant and saying, hey everybody, high up in the sky, get a load of myrrh. There's a big difference. So you need to enjoy yourself and start seeing senses of humor in things. So if you can see some more sense of humor in some of this, realize that there are people coming into this business that have never done it before. They're coming into the fold now. It's like they're parachuting into a battlefield that they've never been on before. And then they get on the battlefield and they want to make the rules, while you've been on this battlefield for a real long time. And try to look at yourself as a teenager, as young as somebody that is, 18. I'm going to go out and I'm going to learn these songs, and these songs I'm going to put in a lot of time and effort into them. And I don't want to hear, Tony, I did. I put in so much effort. No, really try. Really, I used to, when I was a teenager, work 16 hours a day playing music. Rehearsing. I still do. I rehearse crazy amounts of time when I'm not playing on the stage or, riding people around in ride shares. I'm doing that. So, go home, listen to your recordings that you have of the song, and just keep doing it over and over again. If you've got people that are dissatisfied with your performance, let's just say that they're dissatisfied with the performance you're giving, and you want to hang with them, you want to hang with the situation, you like the situation, by all means go home and indulge. Just crazy amounts of time. Just put in lots of time on it. And sometimes people take advantage of that. It's like, dig that hole, fill it up. Dig that hole over there, fill it up. It feels like you're getting nowhere and you're just wasting a lot of time. But in reinventing yourself, and I love saying that. I love, because there's just so much of it. I've like I said, I swear, right out of the orchestra, right back when I was playing in the symphony orchestra, the junior high symphony orchestra at age 8 years old, back in the 1970s. 1977, 1978, 1979, 1980. And then I reinvented myself and became a country musician. And then I reinvented myself and played rock and roll. And then I reinvented myself and I played grunge rock. And then I reinvented myself and I played hip hop. And then I reinvented myself and I played rap. Now I'm not going to say I rapped. My rapping skills are minimal. But I played it on instruments. Like, I would hear a rap recording, and I'd go, okay, what's appropriate for this? And I'd give it the sound effects that were appropriate for the music. And I've been in recording sessions where this has happened and everything. But stay excited, you know. So if you're elderly, you know, you might not like the music today, and the clubs are loud, much louder than what you remember, and now you got hearing damage and they're even louder. You know, you're out there, you're with people that don't understand or know anything about the culture you're from. It's like you're living in another country completely. Okay, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, but you need to just keep going and really, you know, make those people love you out there. Yeah, do everything you can. Maybe they've just parachuted in, they've come in, and they're going to insult you, and they're going to do things that are unprofessional, and some time goes by and you get another phone call, and now they're a lot easier to deal with, you know. And that has happened countless times in my life where, you know, people that know nothing about the business get into it and they're upset and they're not knowing how to handle anything, and, you know, I'll just stay silent and just do what they want, and then all of a sudden they don't want to do it anymore or whatever, and then they go away, and then months down the road, everything's different and they want to do it all over again, and you come back and they're new people now. They're different, they're seasoned, you can speak the language to them a lot easier. So people grow, you know, they really do. So grow with them, keep growing, don't not grow. And take what I'm saying to heart here, because I want you to, you know, be working in all these bands. I want you to be, you know, I want you to want it. You know, you've got to want this too. If you don't want it, then, you know, that's not good. But I'm taking that you do want it. So just, you know, indulge in this stuff. Now let's just say you rehearsed a band's material and you did a good job and they just insulted you. They wasted your time. You know, they want to party now. You know, they're not really that serious. You've managed to do your homework, to do everything. That time is not wasted, baby. Okay? That time that you spent doing all that is not wasted, because all those songs that you learned is now knowledge. It's now what you can do to further advance yourself. It's more information. You are a better player now. You know, there are licks that you've learned that you would have never learned. There's things that you've done that you would, you know, so I know it socks you in the gut when I say put yourself out there. Go to jam sessions. Go to unprofessional things, because you know what? You've made it. You've, you know, played with stars. You've worked all over the area, and now you're hearing me say, oh, well, go reinvent yourself. And oh, it is, you know, not fun to do that, but make it fun, make it a great time, because it's a lot of hard work. You know, it's a lot of, you know, I think when we've been in this for a while, we forget on how hard we had to work to begin with just to get what we got. But don't quit. Don't don't do that. Keep going, and that's what I'm here to encourage you to do. I'm here to encourage you to keep going. Now, if somebody's coming up to you and they're saying, well, on the gig, I hear this, I hear that, and they're picking at you. Take to heart anyway what they're saying. Go home, try it, learn it, even if it's an unlearnable sound effect. Learn the damn thing, or perform it, and blow smoke up their skirt. Just try to deal with the situation and come back, have a good attitude. A lot of times we forget to take things with us, like a pencil, a pad, some paper to write on, your computer and your phone, a computer, but have everything kind of in a little, one of those cases. You're professional. You come in here, you've got